If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key, and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Most people overpay for car insurance, not because they're careless, but because switching feels like too much hassle. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry compares rates side by side from over 50 top insurers and helps you switch with ease. Jerry even tracks market rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Switch with confidence. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/ACAST today.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Scary. If you're new here, my name is Will, and each week I narrate your real life paranormal experiences as well as cover some paranormal cases along the way. Before we get into this week's episode, we need to say a special thank you to our new Patreon subscribers, who are Susanna Little, Elaine Pennington, Pip Whaley, Philippa Mays, Wenny Sumarni, Emilia, Judith G, Rebecca Ashton Gordon, Harbour C, Debbie B, Liv Dox, Arrow Bobby, Connor Smith, Julia Sowell, Ali, Anne Louise Kyle, David Johnson, and Lizzie Arkley. Thank you so much for signing up to the show's Patreon, and if this is something you're interested in, you can find the link in this episode's show notes, where you can gain access to ad-free main episodes as well as exclusive scary episodes. And don't forget, if you have your own paranormal experience that you'd like me to narrate on the show, you can send it to scaryaparanormalpodcast at gmail.com, and it just might get made into a future episode. But now, let's get into our next paranormal encounter. I do office cleaning as my second job. Most of my contracts are in the morning. I'm in or around 5:30, 6, depending on where I'm working. Depending on the place, I can finish as close as to when the first people start arriving to start their working day. I had one regular evening shift. It was for an independent business. The office was in an old converted building. I won't name it, partly because I still do work for the company that owns the contract. From the outside, it looked like any typical older city building. It had a pretty narrow front. There was 2 floors. The office itself took up the ground floor. Upstairs, from what I remember, was empty. You went through a heavy front door with a keypad straight into an entrance area, then a glass door into the main office. Inside there was a reception desk and a kind of an open plan space with maybe 8 or 10 desks, a small little kitchen area at the back, and a meeting room. The bit that I hated from the first day was the storage area. Off the back corridor, there was a door that led into what everyone called the store. It did not feel like part of the same building. The floor in there was concrete rather than carpet, and the walls were old stone that had been painted over. The ceiling was noticeably lower as well. If you stood in the doorway, you could see the hoover and the mops just inside, but beyond that ran a little further into darkness, like a short tunnel corridor type area that had been chopped off from something that was clearly quite larger back in the day. From what I gathered, the building had been altered a few times, and the store area was clearly a remnant of whatever the original building had been. It was like the entrance to a tunnel. It had an echo and everything, even small sounds bounced back at you. My routine in that office was the same. I would finish my morning jobs, go home for a few hours, work on my other job if it happened to be the case, and then I'd come back into the city for this one. I'd usually arrive in around 7 once the last of the staff had gone home. I'd open up, punch in the code, shut the door behind me, lock it, disarm the system, switch on the lights and start. Winter in the UK, by the time you get there, it's already dark outside. The building sat on a side street that was not particularly busy, so once the door was closed, you didn't get any street noise. You'd get the occasional central heating noise from another part of the building, but it was very quiet. And yeah, it was an old building, but it never felt creepy to me. I'd been in plenty of these places before. You're on your own. Offices don't typically feel creepy to me anyway. Cold, yes, but not creepy. And I just want to say this because I want it to be clear. For the first few months, it was fine. It was just a job. The night I quit, nothing started out strange. It was a normal winter evening. I opened the door, punch in the digits for the alarm, disarm it, go inside, lock the door like I do all the time. My routine was to empty the bins, do the kitchen first, then the toilet, then finish with hoovering. The hoover lived in the storage tunnel along with the mop and bucket and extra toilet paper. So the storeroom door was one of the first things I opened up every evening, but I did not fully go in until the end when it was time to get the hoover. And I guess that night was the same. I opened up the store and grabbed whatever I needed. When I opened up the door, the smell that came out of there was very different to the rest of the office. It was a damp, musty smell. And I also remember there was a massive temperature difference between the office and this tunnel area. I hadn't noticed that before. It was similar to if you had left a window open in a small bathroom and it was a freezing cold winter day. That type of temperature difference, except there is no window. So I go on and do my usual rounds. Some offices are different, and when you clean, you get a little weird window into other people's lives. There might be a family picture, a funny note that a colleague has left for another. Or if they're really nice, they might leave you some chocolates with a nice little note. And that sort of thing happens more with smaller businesses. They get to know you over time. By the time I'd finished the toilets and the kitchen, I was already checking my watch because that particular day I was pretty tired and I was already looking forward to my bed. Anyway, I go to the store and I pull out the hoover from just inside the doorway, dragging the cable with me, switch on the hoover, and the noise filled the office immediately and drowned it out everything else. Hoovering in an empty office is surprisingly relaxing. And you get into the rhythm of it. Well, I do anyway. For me, when the noise of the hoover is blocking out everything else, your mind kind of drifts. But maybe I have some undiagnosed condition. I was somewhere between the desks hoovering around the leg chair when I felt a little odd. Nothing dramatic, just a prickle on the back of your neck that makes you think that somebody has walked up behind you. I gave a little glance, but in general I kind of ignored it and kept going. But that feeling did stay. It did honestly feel like somebody was watching you, but you couldn't really locate from where. Probably the tiredness. I continue hoovering. I pushed the hoover in a straight line and decided I would nearly be done. When I bent down to switch off the hoover, the roar cut out and the office just fell silent. In that exact moment, when the motor was spinning down, I heard this noise. Two distinct sounds right on top of each other. The first sound was the creak of a door moving on its hinges, and the second noise came from the kitchen area, and it was clearly the sound of a chair being dragged across the floor. The other noise, I believe, came from the back corridor area. The way I froze when I heard those noises, you'd swear that somebody had shouted at me. I just remember being bent over the Hoover for a second and listening. And then I straightened up, turned around and called out, "Hello?" I remember my voice sounded too loud for the office. I got no response. I think I told myself that must be one of the internal doors just wasn't fully closed and had moved with a draft or movement of air, and for the chair, I don't know. But I still couldn't leave it at that. If somebody had come in, I needed to know. There was the front door and there was a back door, but it had one of those push bars from the inside. Your brain always goes for the worst thing, I suppose, to protect you. But maybe it was just a staff member who'd forgotten something, or maybe a drunk person had wandered in off the street before I locked the door, or something less harmless, even though I knew that that wasn't a possibility. So I did what most people would do. I went to check. I walked around the desks, into the little corridor by the kitchen. The doors to the toilets were open exactly how I'd left them. The kitchen chairs were tucked under the table. The glass door to the office was closed. Everything was exactly as it should be. The back door was secure. I had locked the front door. I stood there for a moment just listening to the building. It felt stupid to be scared in an office, if I'm honest. It wasn't some ruined castle or some abandoned hospital. It was just a small business in the city. In the end, in that moment, I put it down to a sound outside the building that had been going on while I was hoovering, and when I turned the hoover off, I had heard the tail end of that sound finishing up. So I wrapped up the cable of the hoover, dragged the machine back toward the store area. My plan was simple: put the hoover away, grab the mop and bucket, do the corridor and the kitchen floor and get out. Like I said earlier, the storeroom had a concrete floor, painted stone walls. There's no windows, and it's pretty much like a short tunnel to nowhere. There is a single light in there, and to be honest, I would rarely turn on the light if I was grabbing something, because the things I needed were just inside the door. The light from the corridor was enough. So as I'm putting the hoover back in its usual spot just inside, I stepped in a little bit more with my back to the short tunnel, and I'm reaching around the door to try and get the mop bucket. As I did, I hear something behind me. Just this single sharp sound, pretty much like this sound. I pretty much froze with my hand on the mop handle. And in that second, before my brain could decide what the sound really was, there was another. Footsteps. Very fast footsteps. Coming straight towards me from the darker end of the storeroom. You could hear hard soles hitting the concrete, each louder and closer than the one before. There was no build-up. There was no slow approach. 1 second there was a scuff. And then there was this rush of footsteps coming at me, the way someone would run if they were about to shove you. I didn't even have time to think. I spun around, saw nothing, and instinctively threw my hands up to protect my face. At the same time, I stepped backwards out of the doorway, and as I did, my foot caught on the hoover cable. And down I went on my backside in the corridor just outside this storeroom. But even as I fell, I could still hear the footsteps. They didn't fade or they didn't change direction. They kept coming straight at me, very fast, heavy, and then stopped right at the threshold, right where my legs had been a second earlier. Nothing had hit me. No one shoved me. There was no rush of air. There was no cold wind. Nothing dramatic like that. The sound just stopped. Dead. And just to be clear, there's no radio playing in this office. It is dead silent. I just sat there on the corridor floor with my hands partially covering my face, shaking. For a few seconds or minutes, I can't tell, I did not move. I couldn't move. Eventually, I forced myself to look down the little tunnel area, and it was empty. You could see into the first few feet of the tunnel. The hoover was half toppled over. The mop that I had tried to grab had slid down and was lying on the floor. And beyond that, there was a short stretch of concrete faded into the shadows, the way it always did. So I couldn't really see to the end of the tunnel. But from what I could tell, there was nobody there. But I made myself get up and switch on the light so I could see that it was in fact empty, which it was. I turned off the light, made sure everything was inside the door, and just closed it as quick as I could. I did the quickest walk through the office I had ever done to make sure that there was nothing obviously wrong. But I'll be honest, I didn't do a proper check. It was more of a fast walk while trying not to look into any dark corners. And I switched off the lights, I armed the alarm, left the building. When I got to my car, I realised I was breathing like I had run a race. And I rang my supervisor and I told her that I thought that somebody had been in the building. I did not mention the running footsteps. I just said I had heard noises and that I had panicked. And she told me to go home and that she would speak to the client and have the alarm logs checked. I barely slept that night. I kept on hearing the footsteps again and again. And it's a really weird feeling to have your brain expect somebody to attack you or push you and it not happen when the sound is so close, it's upon you. So the next morning, my supervisor rang me back. Security had checked the alarm. Nobody else had set it or disarmed it, bar me. There was no sign of any door opening except the one I came and went in. I just said that I didn't want to go back there again and passed it off, saying that I'd prefer just to keep to morning contracts, that they suited me better, which wasn't a lie. And luckily she agreed to move my shifts. Later, one of the other cleaners who had done a cover shift there told me that that room used to be an old service tunnel or something similar back when the building was part of a completely different layout. She said that workers in the office who she knew said that they had heard some sounds in there. I never confirmed that with the client. I didn't want to. It might be true, it might be workplace gossip, but either way I decided that I did not need more detail. I still clean offices. I'm in and out of empty buildings at strange hours all the time. Most are completely fine. There's no footsteps, no chair scrapes, nothing worse than a surprise spider. But I will not clean that particular building again. Thank you to Tracey for sending in her paranormal experience for today's episode. Don't forget to hit that follow button so you don't miss any future episodes of Scary. And thank you so much to everybody who has wrote a really kind review over the past number of weeks. It's so nice to know that you enjoy listening to the podcast. And finally, a new Patreon episode will be out tomorrow, which will be Monday. So I hope you Patreon supporters will enjoy that one. As always, thank you for listening and join me next time for another episode of Scary.
This holiday, Verizon is helping you bundle up incredible gifts and savings. You'll get the latest phone with a new line on My Plan and a brand new smartwatch and tablet. No trade-in needed, even on our lowest price plan. That's 2 gifts for your family and 1 for you. Or 2 for you and 1 for someone else. Or 3 gifts for you and only you. Either way, you save big on 3 amazing gifts at Verizon. All on the best 5G network. Visit Verizon today. Rankings based on Root Metric Root Score report dated 1/8/2025. Your results may vary. Service plan required for watch and tablet. Additional terms apply.
If you're a smoker or vapor, ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction. But there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Are you noticing your car insurance rate creep up even without tickets or claims? You're not alone. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry handles the legwork by comparing quotes side by side from over 50 top insurers, so you can confidently hit buy. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Jerry even tracks rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Don't settle for higher rates. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/ACAST today.
This holiday, Verizon is helping you bundle up incredible gifts and savings. You'll get the latest phone with a new line on My Plan and a brand new smartwatch and tablet. No trade-in needed, even on our lowest price plan. That's 2 gifts for your family and 1 for you. Or 2 for you and 1 for someone else. Or 3 gifts for you and only you. Either way, you save big on 3 amazing gifts at Verizon. All on the best 5G network. Visit Verizon today. Rankings based on Root Metric Root Score report dated 1/8/2025. Your results may vary. Service plan required for watch and tablet. Additional terms apply.
Did you know Tide has been upgraded to provide an even better clean in cold water? Tide is specifically designed to fight any stain you throw at it, even in cold. Butter? Yep. Chocolate ice cream? Sure thing. Barbecue sauce? Tide's got you covered. You don't need to use warm water. Additionally, Tide Pods let you confidently fight tough stains with new ColdZyme technology. Just remember, if it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.